Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Virche Evermore, continuing our path through the Salvation endings, and we are going to get Mathis's this time, because obviously we had to do on Coffee's first, so now we're just going to start from the beginning and work our way through. So, we started up, I loaded our save, we choose I don't have a reason to cry, and now we're going to skip through. So, right, Jean revealed he was Camille. So, Jamil's over here, torturing Mathis. He's a homunculus, downloading different personalities to see if our love will get through to him each time. You know, that type of a thing. And, you know, in our tragic end, he put himself in there, and that was weird. Yeah, now we're going to see what happens. Oh, this is promising. I could hear the blade run through flesh. But I didn't feel pain anywhere in my body. I slowly opened my eyes to see where the sound had come from. So, because I think at this point when that CG popped up and he was like basically choking us or whatever, it was like, Jamil put a murderer or whatever in him, or someone that hated women, and he was going to basically, probably like a murderer. Probably Lucas. No, not really. Well, we're not a reliver, so that wouldn't work. A different stabby, like there's just too many stabby people around here is all I'm saying. So I'm guessing that's kind of where this opened up. Anyway, I slowly opened my eyes to see where the sound had come from. Blood was raining from above. Did he stab himself instead of you? It was warm with the smell of iron. Ugh. Blood was pouring out of Mathis's chest. His beautiful, tear-stained face was twisted in pain. He pulled out the knife he stabbed into his chest without any hesitation. I looked on in a stupor, not knowing what happened, but... Thick smell of iron was suffocating. I quickly came to my senses, seeing Mathis spit blood out as he held his chest. Mathis? Blood? We need to stop the bleeding! I tore apart some of his clothes to cover the wound, but blood kept pouring out. The fabric quickly turned red. Don't worry, I avoided my heart, so it shouldn't be critical. Never mind me. You're way more injured than I am. I was wounded all over as I tried to escape from him all throughout the night. The sight of me covered in bruises, cuts, and blood brought Mathis to the verge of tears. Most of my bleeding was from... Spacey, your right leg. Don't tell me. Impossible for you to walk again. It's alright. It hurt at first, but I was prepared for anything. See, look carefully. It's not as bad as it seems. I think it's just torn. I know you did what you could to try and save me, Mathis. But it doesn't change the fact that I hurt you. Caused you so much suffering. I'm sorry. I poked Mathis's cheek with my finger, still covered in blood. What are you doing? I kept poking him on the cheek. I did it over and over again in this horrifying laboratory. Easy. What are you doing? I like how they wrote it like that. What are you doing? Because you're jamming him in the cheek. You finally came back and you're still trying to apologize. Isn't there something else you have to tell me? I think we can skip the red thing now. Back, Spacey. My dear, precious death. Welcome back, Mathis. Mathis? Yes? Mathis? Mathis? Yes? You really are Mathis, aren't you? Yeah, I am. The person you love is right here. Sorry for worrying you. You're apologizing again. He hugged me gently, and I wrapped my arms around his back, as tightly as I could. I kept repeating his name as I took in his warmth. Before long, the pain etched into my body disappeared completely. Let's hurry and leave the mansion. I'm sure Jean will come back down to check on us any minute now. Can't fight him off in this state, so we need to escape while we still... Impossible! Camille had run into the room and quickly went pale upon seeing Mathis. I think we need to stab him. Much as I love Jean, Camille sucks, so... And this doesn't look like a murderer confessing his love. Who are you? Me? Are you seriously asking? Mathis looked right into Camille's eyes as he endured the pain. I'm Mathis. I'm not the son of some noble family, and I'm not a younger brother seeking revenge. I finally became my own self by loving the beautiful goddess of death. I am Mathis Claude. Guess who's still got a knife, motherfucker? Camille's eyes widened with disbelief as he slowly walked toward Mathis. Right, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. I didn't ask for some damned salvation miracle from a fairy tale in my experiment. All you were supposed to do was find a way to feel love with the false memories I implanted in you. That's it. Okay. Because I was like trying in my head to remember like what happened with the stabby murderer that he put in him. I mean, I knew he didn't kill us, but he didn't... I don't think he fully became Mathis. Like this, he snapped out. He's Mathis now. It was the... He knew he loved us, but he couldn't figure out why type of a thing. So he was feeling like Mathis's love was in there coming out, but Mathis wasn't able to overtake the personalities implanted in him. And then Camille implanted himself in there. So, yeah. Which is weird if you think about it. Like, Camille doing that because he's like, good, I can live on through. You love it. But you are still... Camille is still himself. He's still there. He still exists. It's not like... I took what I think of me right now and put it into your brain, so now I'm in a whole other body. No, you just put your memories into that, so now you're watching yourself, an old version of you, or maybe the current version, whatever, love a fake Rosalie. That's sad. Not just for us. Being like, well, we're just pretending it's Mathis even though we know it's not. That was tragic. It's kind of tragic for Camille at the same time. Because, okay. Anyway. I can't revive Rosalie if you're like this. She won't be able to recognize herself as Rosalie. Worse, she might turn into someone else and fall in love with some other guy. The image of that must have flashed in his mind. His breathing was getting heavier by the second. Just a little longer. My darling Rosalie, the Rosalie who loves me. I think we need to stab him. She was this close to returning with her memories and emotions. I wondered why the man in front of us treated me cruelly over and over again, but the sight of him clinging onto the tank with his lost love inside was... Hold on. I had to sneeze. Terribly sad. Yeah, right? They're making me feel for this motherfucker. Okay. It's really because I'm attached to Jean, who's hiding in there somewhere. But, like, not the Camille personality. But, in the tragic end, you're like, it was tragic for him, too, and I'd normally be like, ha! Good! And instead you're like, oh, wait. So I'm with her. I feel bad for you. Oh. Where did I go wrong? Was there some corrupt data in the memories I put together? Yes, that's right. It's not like everything is over yet. I need to contact my supporters right away and create a new test subject to replace this failure. No. Mathis calmly tried to reason with him. I think it's time to stab him. It's no use. Known for a long time, haven't you? Mathis was a homunculus created by Camille. Camille's only success, which took strenuous efforts and time and energy to create. If the tragedy he experienced had been in another country, he would have had years, if not decades. He could have continued his research to resurrect his lost love. It's true, he's not a reliver, is he? This country was Arpachel, a land possessed by death. Camille had vowed not to become a reliver in order to show his true love for Rosalie. What that meant was he didn't even have enough time to redo his research.
I finally brought you back, Rosalie. I'm 85 years old.
Could you imagine, though, in another country he'd had decades. Yeah, he'd have been 85 bringing her back, and she'd be, 18 and being like, ew! Sorry, Grandpa. Because, the only grandpa we gonna bang is fucking Cyan, because, he's in, a 20-year-old body. Well, 23-year-old body, so, 20 to 23. Wherever, I don't know. But, whatever. So, hi. Yeah. No? I mean, in reality, in a 20-year-old... seriously, though, do they look like they're in their 20s? No, because that's the way they're drawn. But, me, I'm yeah, could you not be in 20? Because that's, you're like an infant. Cyan, be 80 in, a 30-year-old body. That works, you know? Still, though. The point is, he's 80, but he don't look it, so... It was as if the relationship between Jean and Mathis, who used to be depressed and prone to mad outbursts, had been reversed. Camille, in a near-complete frenzy, suddenly started punching the tank with Rosalie inside. Of course, no amount of force would wake her from death. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Damn it! You damned failure of a homunculus! I feel like he's a success. I know what you were trying to do, so in that respect, yeah, but complete success. Task failed successfully. Look what you did. You created an actual person who's his own person. Who can overcome any, people you dump into him. He's like, nope, still me. That's amazing. Not what you intended to do, but still amazing. How dare you abandon Rosalie and pursue your own love? I won't accept this. I still have time. I know I have what it takes to create a miracle for her. Seeing Camille scream madly. Hey, Camille. Is miracle something you really need? Mathis quietly posed his question to him as he looked at Rosalie sleeping in peace. What? Why isn't my personality good enough to be used for Rosalie? It's because... And it's because there's a chance she wouldn't fall in love with you, right? But if you look at it from a different angle, Rosalie doesn't end up loving you. You wouldn't love her in return. Isn't that the same as saying that there's no value in her life itself? If so, that's a really sad way of thinking. If she doesn't love you, then you clearly don't love her? Wait, what? I'm sure that made sense to me, but then again... Anyway. Camille's body shook at the question, and Mathis continued speaking without mercy. Conducted your experiment so that you could revive Rosalie back to when she loved you. But her life wasn't just about being with you, right, Camille? Before she met you, before she found love, she was her own Rosalie. Okay, now I get what he's talking about. So can't you love Rosalie for who she was before she met you? Stop with that bullshit! I'm only trying to reason with you. You're wrong in every respect right now. As if trying to make his point, despite my being covered in blood and sweat, Mathis tugged me close to him. Mathis? Just like with me and Spacey, you have to be prepared to love everything about Rosalie. Neil, you're just trying to cling to a past long gone. You're not looking at the Rosalie asleep in there. You're not confident you can still love the new her. Punching the tank with her inside is proof of how wrong you are. Inside the cold, wet flower garden, perhaps it was from the slamming earlier, the woman's white, bloodless lips seemingly frowned with sorrow. It can't be. I'm not wrong. My life is for Rosalie and her alone. You don't have to tell me that I should love her regardless. Then do it now. Take Rosalie out of there and tell her you love her. Kiss her and show her your love. She has been dead for a while. That's kind of gross, Mathis. I know she's in like a cryo tank or whatever, but she's been dead for a while. I don't trust the chemicals in this game, okay? I don't trust like whatever goo she's in. I'm assuming he wouldn't try to bring her back if she was like literally rotting and hunks of her flesh were falling off, but like I don't know. I don't know about this necrophilia we're trying to push on Jamil over here.
But you have to be prepared to accept she won't reciprocate your feelings.
Well, she won't because she's dead. Are we talking about bringing her back to life right now? Because, like, okay.
You can't, can you?
You can't, can you? Because she's not going to reciprocate my feelings because she's still dead. She didn't just magically come back to life yet. Ah, I see. You're so used to using others as tools for yourself that you can't love the real Rosalie anymore. You can only see her as an unfinished version of herself.
Camille, I knew in my memories he would be able to show his love and kiss her without hesitation, but
what made him change so much to make him like this? Mathis didn't have the strength left in him to ask that question. Camille slowly looked at the tank next to him. Inside was Rosalie, sound asleep, no different from before, though there was a part of me that felt like she looked much sadder than yesterday. Camille seemed to notice the same thing. He quickly cradled and shook his head as if to deny what he was seeing. No, no, no! I've never seen Rosalie as a tool before. I just... I wonder if it's a boy or a girl. I can't wait to name our child. It's still too early. I find as long as our baby is born healthy and safe. You know, we're going to end up leaving our child behind a few years from now because we're not going to be relivers, right? My parents are going to be around, but still, our child will probably be lonely. Then our souls can reincarnate and be together again. We can go and see our child once they're grown up. I'm sure they'll be able to know who you are, no matter your appearance. As for me, I'm confident I'll fall in love with you again and again. I feel the same way. Her smile. I just wanted to see her smile again. Her memories and emotions. They have to stay the same. Or else I won't be able to think with her and come up with a name for our child. He clung to the glass casket where Rosalie slept. Yes, so it's not even just bringing her back. You're gonna... I don't know if that's gonna work. So that's some other... It's okay. I don't think you're gonna get the ending you want. I don't think anybody's getting the ending they want in this game. Oh, call me a coward. Call me ruthless all you want. I really don't care. It's not like I can stop myself anyway. My love for them is what drives me to be as ruthless as possible. No matter his excuse, he was still a criminal. He'd killed countless people with the promise of delivering them to a better place, only to deliver them to their deaths instead. I just want to throw it out there, though, in this world that we live in this, killing them early is kind of a better... I don't want to be on Jamil's side here, but, like, is he wrong? I mean, it's not right murdering people. Okay, I'm not talking about that, but I mean his, like, I'm going to deliver you to a better place, and that is dead as opposed to suffering through the curse. You can't really argue with that logic. You're like, you gotta give him at least a point for that. You're like, technically it's a better place. He wasn't really lying. Like, you know, was he lying? No. So, punishment for what he had done was unavoidable. It depends on how brutally he murdered them, but perhaps in some way he might reach some kind of salvation as well.
Camille, you've done something terrible that can't be undone. You can still redeem yourself. After all, you're still alive. Repent and pay for your sins and do what I can with the memories inside me to leave a legacy for Rosalie and your child as proof they existed. Whether in the form of a novel, children's book, or a photograph. As long as we're together, we can find a way to preserve the memory of her life.
He then extended his hand to his brother. Mathis. He looked back and forth between his younger brother's face and the hand offered to him. He hesitated for a moment before coming to his decision and reached out to accept it. Suddenly, the sound of an explosion rocked the lab. I did not expect that.
An explosion. Felt like came from below.
Did Daha just blow everyone up again? Wait, does that mean a huge crack appeared below the equipment and... Oh, or is it Lucas? Probably Lucas. The entire place began to crumble. Ah!
Spacey!
Mathis held me in his arms, shielding me from the debris falling from the ceiling. Where's Camille? Fell into a hole and now is dead. The person with whom we were finally able to discuss a new future was...
Looks like I'm out of luck again.
Through a small opening, we could see that we were separated by the wall of rubble that had formed between us. What caused this, though?
Camille!
Where did the explosion come from?
I think it came from my supporters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, like, they knew they were probably monitoring him and they sent Boro after him. In quotes around that. Anyway. Huh?
There's a hidden tunnel beneath the lab where we met for deals to exchange data. Oh, and to exchange data. I bet that's where it happened. If I'm arrested, it'll mean trouble for them. Looks like they're covering their tracks. We need to hurry and get you out of there.
Mathis tried to get his hand through the small opening in the wall of rubble, but was unable to shift it. Are we gonna watch him get his comeuppance?
Spacey, are you here? She's down there, Adolphe. I heard her voice coming from below.
Well, hey, the rest of our gaggle's saving us.
Adolphe and Eve?
She's confused. From a distance, I could hear their voices approaching. It seemed they'd arrive at any moment. They have been searching for us.
What are you doing, Camille? You need to get yourself out of there.
The others should be here soon. I'm sure we could save you once they get here, so don't give up.
Are you stupid? Like I'd go with you guys.
Huh?
If I escape now, Rosalie's going to be left to die all alone.
He's gonna stay and die with her. Look at that. Watch out! The ceiling shook with force, then came crashing toward Mathis. I reached out to grab Mathis's arm and somehow pulled him toward me in time. My family is texting right now, and, like, my phone is just ding, 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 ding. It's really fucking annoying. Like, oh my god. Text message sounds annoy me. It just does. I changed it because, like, my normal one, when it was like a group text and it's like 3 different people going back and forth, was annoying as fuck. So I changed it to just a little ding, but that's getting on my nerves. It's just like, it's not like every once in a while, it's just ding, 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 ding. Oh my god! Good lord. Anyway. I reached out to grab Mathis's arm and somehow pulled him toward me in time. Even more rubble fell from above us. The wall of debris was thicker now, and we could barely even see Camille.
Hurry, please, let's get out of here together, brother.
But...
Shut up. Just get the hell out of here already, you failure.
He refused our pleas for him to escape.
How many times have I told you that you're not my brother? You didn't even call me brother after you learned my real identity. Some little brother you are. You're so damn idealistic. Just hurry out of here so you two monsters can die together.
I couldn't see Camille's expression from where I was. He's saying hurtful things so that we leave him. Aw. All I could do was bite down on my lips as he said such heartless words. I feel like he's saying it to get us to leave.
Has he not be your real brother, but days we spent together as Mathis and Jean. Those days were real, and I'll always think of you as a brother.
Brothers. The time they spent together and the words they exchanged brought back memories of their peaceful days together. While their relationship may have been based on an illusion, was every moment really a lie? On some level, it had to be real.
I never saw us as brothers. Not once.
I still couldn't see Camille's expression, but the voice I could hear was gentle and caring.
Hurry up, will ya? Keep this up and you'll lose your beloved death, too. But... Damn it! Stop relying on me already, Mathis Claude!
Who do you really need to protect now? It's the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Don't you get it? If you think I'm more important, I swear I'll find a way to kill you. Mathis held his breath upon hearing Camille's yelling. Say, I love that. He's like, you're useless and worthless and just get out of here. I hate you. And Mathis like, but he's like, for God's sakes, I'm just saying mean things to get you to leave. Will you just fucking go? Let me die. God, I'm trying to save you here, dumbass. Aw. See, this is why, like, part of me was like, stab him so we could get out of here because, like, whatever. And Camille sucks. But, like, we still love Jean. You know what I mean? And as we just thought, like, was it really all a lie? No. Part of it, like, you know, if we could erase the Camille existence, everything would be fine, you know? So. He held back the pain he was feeling, then took a few seconds to calm himself.
Let's go, Spacey. I'll hold you up, okay?
Are you sure?
Brother says is always right. And I don't want to burden my brother Jean more than I already have.
Finally, the laboratory released its final scream. The ceiling, the walls, the floor, everything inside began to collapse in an attempt to crush those who remained. Before we left, Mathis turned around and said,
Thank you, brother. Thank you for bringing me into this world. Thank you for bringing me to her.
And with that, we made our way out to the surface. Crumbling debris was a depressing sight to behold. The painstakingly crafted laboratory, along with the equipment therein, was in ruins. The tank holding Rosalie had shattered to pieces, strewn around Camille's feet. Rosalie's body lay on the floor with closed eyes that would never open again. He hadn't touched her in so long, he only now noticed how cold she was. He lifted her cold body into his arms. Camille embraced her tightly so as not to let her go.
You are freezing. And no wonder I kept you locked in there for ages. Your complexion's so pale now that it doesn't match your dress anymore.
He asked if she would forgive him for ruining their wedding day.
I'm really sorry, and this is the best I can do for you right now.
Held her back up with his hand and lay a kiss on her cold lips. A kiss showing his vow of everlasting love, which he couldn't have done without Mathis unlocking his heart. Like, that's so sad. Rosalie didn't say a word, nor did she smile. Still, he was finally able to reunite with her. Time finally began to move again. Time between Camille and his beloved in the present day, after she had watched him for so long from inside the clear water.
What's this? Your belly's gotten smaller. What am I saying? When you died long ago, you brought our baby with you except for the cells I extracted from there.
So Mathis is kind of like his son. That's what I was wondering. I feel like, did they tell us that? I don't remember, but... Before we forget, Camille, I finally thought of a name for a baby, if he's a boy. Oh, she's going to say Mathis, isn't she? Oh my god. You see, it means gift of God in another country. You did not fucking...
I needed those cells to create a homunculus that looked like me. I named him Mathis.
So in a way, it's not your brother, he's your son. I mean, I don't think they ever confirmed that in the thing, but when he was talking about using, like, cells and fetal cells and all that stuff, I was like, did you... I think that was, like, a question, but I don't think they ever confirmed or they never said anything about it. But, like, now... And, I mean, technically, even though he's your quote-unquote brother, you created him, so he was always your son, but now he genetically kind of is too.
Brother my ass. You never had a clue, Mathis. Say, Rosalie wasn't able to do the best job at raising our son, but it turns out he's able to fall in love with the same girl over and over. He became a much better man than I ever was.
It's actually kind of sad and adorable and fucked up, but... I mean... You knew Mathis was Camille's son in the, like, sense that he created him, but no, he actually did in multiple, like, created him with science, but also human reproduction. So, well, shit! The moon was shining brightly, so technically he's kind of not a real boy, but also a real boy. Alright. We were at a secluded part of the shore, sitting next to each other, feeling each other's warmth through our hands. Adolphe and Eve quickly came to the rescue just before the mansion collapsed. Two came searching for me, thinking that I was at the Claude mansion. Apparently, a certain man told Eve during his investigation that I was there.
Who am I, you ask? I suggest you hurry over there rather than waste your time with me.
Oh, no, it's probably Onko. Probably Onko. Because I'm like a random person. I'm like, no, include it anyway.
Please take care of her.
They said he also helped break open the locked mansion with a particular weapon. And he suddenly vanished as though he was never there. From their description, I was quite certain that the man was the Watchman of Death, Onko. Yeah. I should thank him the next time I see him. It sounded like he was looking for me, too. After our rescue, when Adolphe and Eve saw the extent of our injuries, they wanted us to go to the hospital immediately, but we only shook our heads. Emile and his laboratory were now buried under the rubble and debris, which meant that Mathis would no longer be able to extend his life like before. Okay, so, for all I knew, the Mathis next to me probably disappear and die within the next few hours. Okay, so that's not really happy. You're like, this isn't too bad of a... Okay, well, there goes that. He told me he wanted to spend his final hours with me. How are they doing a fan disc for this? Seeing his gentle smile, no one could tell him otherwise. Aww, look at our little CG. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm sure they're just going to end and they're not going to have him die, so they could continue. Like, then we went to the hospital and everything is fine now. Sure, but like, I just...
So many things happened in just a few days.
You're right. They were days I would never forget. The warm, loving times we spent together. With each new Mathis he became. The days were also nightmarish, but even those memories were precious to me now. After all, I loved every Mathis that appeared. Say, what kind of person are you now?
Knows.
I could hear the data inside Mathis's head screeching in their final moments.
I'm similar to the first me, but not entirely. I really don't know myself. Everything just feels weird and hazy.
The data continued to screech. His sleepy demeanor and the words that he spoke intermittently. Every word and action was a sign that his mind was slowly beginning to deteriorate. Yeah, no, okay, I thought we were going to have a touching moment and then it was just going to end and no, we're basically going to, so how? Alright. We'll find out in the fall. We knew this was going to happen and accepted it, wanting to spend those last moments together.
Novel. It's not done yet, is it?
Yeah, it ended just when things were getting good.
Yeah, but it's okay. Originally, I was planning on rewriting everything. Beginning.
I bit down on my lips so that I could hold back the tears from surfacing in my eyes. If I cried now, I knew I would break down sobbing. I wouldn't be able to hear his last words.
Next, we'll write story. Only death and artificial life. Homunculus man. All in love. Hans. Wedding story.
Yeah, we're not ever getting that. That would be wonderful. I'm sure plenty of people would love those characters. Are you sleepy?
Yeah. Time is almost up. Hey, Spacey, I'd probably rather didn't make me soul found him so that I could do.
Listen, I don't want Mathis to die, but I kind of want you to go to sleep or something just because trying to read through that like that is so painful. It's not the voice, it's the constant pausing. My brain, it goes too fast for reading that slow. Good lord. He pulled me gently toward him. His skin felt so warm. I could tell his strength was slipping away.
That won't ever change, so
light slowly began to fade from his eyes.
He'll come back. Love you. Promise.
Yes, I'll be waiting. I straightened my voice so that it would reach Mathis as he fell asleep. Never forget that I'll be waiting for you, so we can write a story together again. He whispered a quiet thank you.
Thank you for giving me courage. Thank you for loving me for who I am.
We wouldn't say farewell. Instead, we would say this. Until we meet again. Aww, little moonlight kiss. That's lovely. Is that seriously how it ends? Oh, and now it's... Oh. Nope. Can't watch the end credits, I'm sorry. Because I get... Oh! After story. Oh. A few months later...
The homunculus was created using cells from a pregnant woman, into which the stolen memory data was installed. Even with supporters, it's impressive that a novice with no scientific background managed to get that far.
Aww. Little King Liam. Listen. You were a bastard at the end, but for the rest of the game, I still love you, Dahood. I still do. Listen, Leah... Okay. There's so many split personalities in this. Camille, you suck. But we love Jean. Liam, you suck. But we love Dahood. Salome, we like you! Queen Catherine was a little bit of a psychopath. I'm pretty sure she's the one that sold us, like, in the ending where she killed us or whatever. You know, I kind of feel like that was Christine or whatever. What did I say, Catherine? Was it Christine? It was Christine, right? Whatever her name is. Whatever. That was the queen popping out. So the queen, we don't hate you, but whatever. Capucine was always just an asshole. You know what I mean? So, Dahood, though, we love you. Not King Liam. No, not Liam. Not at all. Diane, good to see you. My team's experiments are done, so I'm ready to join you with the research starting now. Oh, huh. Isn't that the data from the incident Camille Claude caused?
Yeah. Since it involves the illegal use of research equipment, it came to me for further investigation.
An explosion occurred at the Claude mansion in Cheetahs. Zion wasn't involved in the incident, but he heard what happened. The only one presumed dead was the Claude family butler, Jean. No, the person who died was the true heir of the Claude family, and the person behind the missing prostitutes. The deliverer, Camille Claude. It seemed he was somewhere under the rubble with his lover, but he hadn't been found yet. Interesting.
Damn it!
What a pain.
Who corrupted the research I discarded long ago and gave it to him?
Wait, you're standing... Look to your left. Dahood. His independent investigation revealed the identity of one of the supporters. But instead of arresting them, Zion decided to let the person run free until the time was ripe. But one remained elusive. Liam? There was no way that Camille could have achieved such great results with the help of just one person. Zion's hunch was...
There's a rat in the Institute.
Camille's goals and sentiments were of no interest to Zion, but he was quite perturbed that someone had used his past work without his permission. To add, the camera he asked to have returned was still missing. He suspected this rat also supplied him with the camera. In any case, he had plans to comb through the Institute until he found them. Zion cracked his neck with disgust, thinking he might have to resort to using Karun. Thinking Zion's behavior was his usual lack of interest, Dahoud promptly took the monitor away. When you think of it, maybe this incident was Camille's way of showing repentance. Just before his laboratory was destroyed, he did go to the trouble of sending his memory data and genes here so they could be backed up.
Like I care. It's a waste of time thinking about what he was thinking now that he's dead.
They say his, and they don't mean Jamil's, they mean Mathis, so we're gonna get a Mathis clone. Okay, I see what's happening here. No, come on! Not even a single teardrop for him! So what now? You read his will, right, Zion? Or rather, did you read his plea to secure him like he asked? Or maybe you got some spooky plans ready since he's a rare test subject.
If I wanted, I'd just make one myself, since it'd be faster.
Well, you've certainly spooked me. I guess a homunculus is a lot weaker than humans or relivers. Wait, so what did you do with him?
He's of no use to me. I made him into a reliver and kicked him out of this place.
Excuse me? Huh? Doesn't that mean he has some unknown memory downloaded into his reliver body? He's probably lost somewhere right this moment. I better go grab the guards and find him. Oh, and if you did successfully make him into a reliever, you should let her know. Todd puffed his cheeks out with frustration as he fiddled with the system screen. So, okay. I was like, that's how it's gonna end? Mathis just dies? Like, how are you? Nope. Zion's like, oh, I made him a reliever and kicked him out. Whatevs? Fucking Zion. And done. I lowered the crate of vegetables in front of one of the food stands. The owner was looking at me with anxiety, but regardless, I bowed and headed off to deliver the next bunch of vegetables. Not caring about how they look at me sure makes a difference. Still, at this rate, it's going to take me forever to make enough money to become a reliever. It's not only money, I have to mature a bit more before Mathis returns. She doesn't know he's on his way, walking through, wandering around alleys. It had been a few months since then. Was that supposed to say I? Because it's it's like number 2 was still I was still working at the orphanage, but I also had another job. I began work here at the marsh, helping with deliveries and stocking inventory. The reason I was doing 2 jobs was simple. I wanted to make enough money to become a reliever. Back then, I didn't think I had the right to live longer since I was deaf, but if I accepted my death, I wouldn't be able to live with Mathis, who was undergoing the process of becoming a reliever. So she knows? It sounds like he was... With his controller Camille dead, he was unable to have new memories downloaded. What that meant was Mathis would die once the memories in his brain crashed. But just before the mansion collapsed... Okay, I thought it sounded like she didn't know and this was going to be a surprise, but now it sounds like she knows? Okay. I think I would have liked the surprise angle where he shows up and he's like, oh, Cyan, Jean backed me up and then Cyan created me and now here I am and you're like, yay! And like, whatever. And she was saving money to become a reliever so that when he's, reborn, like reincarnated in a different form, we'll find each other. You know what I mean? Like, so I've got to be around so that we can reincarnate. Like, I don't know. Although then you would have just let yourself die and be reincarnated. Okay, never mind. Anyway, just before Camille's death, Camille transferred the data required for Mathis to become a reliever and also confessed his crimes to the Institute. The moment they learned Mathis was actually a homunculus, which was a banned existence, Cyan appeared to take him back to the Institute. They quickly froze his body before his brain would corrupt further. From what I understood, they were currently reviewing his data so he could become a reliever. Okay, this is a much better ending than I thought when we had that moment and you're like, eh, this sucks. As for me, upon hearing that report, I'd been doing all I could to be with Mathis one day so we could spend our days in love. I decided to work to become a reliever. That said, I only made that choice recently and hadn't really told anyone my idea. This also meant I was going to break the contract with Anko, which would make me a normal human. I see. I would have fulfilled my end of the deal. How well you did to uncover one of the truths, but... I'm so sorry, especially after everything you've done for me. Let me remind you that, should you become a reliever, we'll lose the precious love you feel for him. That's all right. After all, I'm confident that I'll be able to fall in love with him again. Hey, if he, a fake existence, could do it, then me, a reincarnated human in a fake body, can do it. I see. If that is the princess's wish, the Watchman of Death will obey her desires. With that, you to accept my simple gift to you. Is this candy? A lovely shade of crimson. Truthfully, ate it with my own blood. What? Uncle, this is like the women putting menstrual blood in bread and weird creepy shit like this. This is creepy. Don't do that. Don't make food with blood in it. It is but an ordinary confection. I don't trust you. And I was wondering. And I was like, does this have his blood in it? Because, like, his blood will make us normal. That was the whole thing. So, like... I did not bring it from Hades, so you may enjoy it without worry. Thank you very much. I still don't know if I chucks it behind her into the ocean. Uncle, if you didn't stop me from committing suicide that day, I would never have been able to meet Mathis. Thank you so very much. I'll never forget what you've done for me. I should say the same to you, dear princess. I wish for your path to bring you as much happiness as possible. Perhaps a blessing from the Watchman is more of a curse. vegetable deliveries complete, I decided to head back to the orphanage, looking at the stores along the way. I really let Unco down. I remember the look on his face back then, which made my heart ache. I couldn't choose a path where Mathis and I had to part ways. Even if Mathis returned with the love he felt for me. No, that wasn't all. Mathis's memory was made by combining memory data from multiple sources, so he was already worn beyond belief from repeated experiments. In other words, his backup data was already in a less than desirable state. The prospect of downloading such data into his clone body was somewhat bleak. After all, the odds of his memory transferring properly were close to zero, meaning that he might remember me or he might not. There was even a chance that his personality would be completely different, too. But I'm ready for anything. Even if the bond that connected us was lost, I was sure we would... A sudden gust of wind blew. Somewhere, in the midst of the crowd, I saw something beautiful in silver shining brilliantly under the sun.
Excuse me.
Oh, look at his little... He's got a little shoulder liver mark. Aww. I like how they show that, like, his shirt's off his shoulder so you can see where his mark is. He grabbed my wrist as we crossed paths. The warmth flowing from my wrist was the only person in this world who dedicated his love to me. But are we gonna say he doesn't remember who we are? He's like, I know you and I don't know why I know you. Is it gonna be that? The weaver of our story of love. I gasped when I saw his face. He wore an urgent but confused expression. Okay. He shook his head, probably because he thought I saw him as a stranger.
I'm so sorry. I guess anyone would be scared if a guy they don't know suddenly grabbed your wrist. But, the moment I saw you, for some reason my chest was overflowing with all kinds of emotions. I just couldn't take my eyes off you. You're really cute, so I want to protect you.
Could you just fucking imagine if some random person came to you and said this? You'd be like, what the fuck kind of bullshit lines is...
And this time, I want to be with you until the very end. What I'm trying to say is, I fell in love at first sight.
Those memorable words marked the beginning of our new story. Seeing my eyes wet with tears, he blushed. More than anything, he looked happy.
I might be a reliver who easily forgets love, but if you don't mind, would you be willing to fall in love with me?
He had kept his promise. I felt like every Mathis I met before was telling me so with a smile. It's kind of sad because he totally forgets everything, but yet he's like, I'm in love with you and I don't know why. And everything, he doesn't even know you. He has no memories of you. So that's sad, but at the same time, his love for you overtook everything and that's the only thing he knows is there. And you're like, it's kind of beautiful though. And I'm gonna, okay, so now this I feel like in the fan disc, that's where it would split off. It'd be like here, where like you're regaining your memories type of a thing. Or building new ones. If so, there was only one answer. I gave him the brightest smile to make sure that they all knew. Yes, gladly. I will fall in love with you as many times as it takes. And that's kind of sweet, because like he became a reliver, but he remembered his love for her, nothing else. And it kind of gives you hope that like maybe she will too. But also we know that it's possible to get feelings, so. Aww, look at that. You know, I don't, that's a good, good ending. Okay. Didn't click when I clicked it. Explanation on this one's beautiful. Look how lovely it is. I thought it was going to end there where he just drifts off to sleep and dies and you're like, I know we got to escape, but that doesn't really count. You know? And I'll be honest. The way it ends isn't the happiest type of, oh my fucking god, the music has been so fucking loud the whole time. It's not a bad thing, but it's like when the music is that loud, then like it doesn't get through like monetization, and which is fine. Half of these get demonetized or limited because probably all the death talk and suicide and all that shit. But the music definitely doesn't help, and it's just so fucking loud because like right now I can hear it blasting, and it's like it's on silent. Okay, now there's none, but But it's like overpowering how loud the base game music is, and it's at the lowest point it could possibly be, and my recording software is almost fucking off, and it's still so fucking loud. Like, Jesus. But the music is what gets you, and every once in a while, I mean, it's been a long time since it's happened, but the music gets you, and it's like, you can't upload this, and it's like, fuck. And I don't want to take those kind of risks, you know what I mean? We already have enough instances where we start playing a game like Bustafellas, and it's like, you can't put this up, and I'm like, because I don't know how to read. That was my own fault, but I don't need, like, anything. But usually it's just, you can't monetize, or monetization goes to copyright holders for the music, which is fine. I don't mind. I get it, but I don't like testing those limits, you know? I like this channel. I like being here. I don't want to, like, fuck it up. So, on something like music, where you're like, I can't do anything except for turn it completely off. So, aww. Look at that, isn't it lovely? That's the one we'll end on, because it's the last one, but it's not the... It's very good. I wouldn't say it's the best happy ending ever, because, like, you're like, he doesn't remember you. And that's kind of sad when you're like, okay, they leave it in such a happy way, like, oh, yes, I love, oh, and I love you, and it's beautiful, but you're like, but the underlying is, he has no memories of you. He just saw you and was like, I love you. And you know everything, but, like, there is a weight to that of, like, he remembers nothing. Which kind of, like, makes you a little sad underneath. But, to be fair, I was really expecting it at the end, right before the credits happened. I was like, that's, oh, okay. And then we got this, and it's like, okay, all right. They brought it back together and gave us, like, a reasonably happy ending for this game. Like, it was never going to be perfect. Like, oh my god, it's happy. Because this game is not happy. This game is tragic and fucked up and dark, right? So, this is the happiest ending you could expect for Mathis, considering what's going on in the game. And, like, it's going to have a little twist. It's never going to be like, look at the perfect, glorious unicorn and rainbow ending that I want. It's going to be like, I mean, there's rainbows, but it's still a little dark, you know, with that underlying he doesn't remember you thing, but still good times. It ended better than I expected. I still don't know how they're going to pull out Lucas. I'm still concerned about that. But at least I could see in a fan disc version of this, like, okay, so a route where you're trying to get Mathis's memory back or start over with him and, like, you know, and yes, he doesn't remember, but there's a chance he could get the memories back type of a thing, because every single time Jamil dumped random personalities into him, he always remembered his love for us, you know? So that's the one thing that was constant. So even if he doesn't remember writing the story with us, maybe we'll get to, and he'll be like, yeah, no, you know, I enjoy writing. It's not like he's a completely different person. You know what I mean? Where, oh, now we met and yeah, we're going to fall in love. And then he's like, nah, I hate writing. I like beating up hookers. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, the person he is still in there somewhere. He just doesn't have any memories of the time we spent. So we just got to build new ones. And, you know, but it's not like where they have other amnesia stories where then their personality is completely shifted and they're just a completely different person suddenly, you know? It'll be, Mathis is the same person, he just doesn't remember, and then he's going to be apologizing constantly because he doesn't remember, and whatever. I mean, you could kind of just see where it's going to go. Or, I mean, yeah, I don't know how they're going to do the fan disc or whatever, but if they were to branch off from here, you could kind of, you know, get a little rough ballpark. You know, you got the little Venn diagram bubble, you're like, yeah, somewhere in this bubble it's going to go, probably, so, not mad about it. I think, okay, so, you know, so after Unkafe's ending, it was like, I have high expectations, and okay, Mathis is kind of like, okay, good, we had a happy ending. Enough, happy-ish. You know what I mean? Yeah, again, little darkness in there, but it's cool. It's a little, it's not bright, and it's not as bright and vivid as the CG would lead you to believe. It's a little more like this, where it's beautiful, and there's some hope, but it's still, you know, there's a little darkness in it. Even though that's a beautiful kind of darkness, you know. But, you know, still good. Enjoyed it. Good times. But anyway, next we will be doing Lucas's, and I am questioning that one. My expectations are low for that one, to be fair. My expectations are like, I don't know how you're going to make it that he's not going to die. How's that going to work? Because he's not going to become a reliver. So I just have a feeling that these last two is like, yeah, okay, we're going to get good. So I will be surprised if they don't kill Lucas in that one. So we'll find out. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.